Welcome to Keepin It Real with Dr. Salma, co-host Mark Wright. And today we have a special guest, Dr. Pastor Pam Powell, a legend in this community, a woman that traveled the world, know her for a very long time, just lost her husband recently. And she's here today, she's going to talk about the grief and the love of her life. You know, there were two peas in a pie. You see one, you see the other. And also she's going to talk a little bit about her book. Welcome, Pastor Pam.
Oh, thank you. You look beautiful.
You look beautiful.
I'm going to
too.
call you the yellow bird, ready to fly.
So wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be on your show. I'm honored.
It's always a blessing and a privilege.
Yes.
Because, you know, I worked with you. My husband used to work with you for a long time. So
yes. He's my business partner.
Yes.
Long way back. Yes. And I've been on your radio show and you've been on mine. So we are connected.
Amen. So we're here today with you. First, Mark, you could step in. I want to tell the TV land a little bit about yourself and the past and sudden of your wonderful, amazing husband. Remind me, like my husband. Go ahead, Pastor.
Well, I just want to say that I was married for 34 plus years to the greatest man, my king, my boo, my everything. I told everybody he's the sweet in my tea. He was the cool in my Kool-Aid. He was the pot liquor in my collard greens. He was the T-bone in my steak. He was my Twilight Zone and my Al Capone. And a few months ago, 2 days before Valentine's Day, Dr. Rose, my husband, who was not ill, was sitting in a meeting, fell over in his chair, said, Jesus Christ. They rushed him to the hospital. Within 45 minutes, he had passed away. Now, I was totally devastated. In fact, when I got to the hospital, they wouldn't even allow me to see him. And I was so upset because we were like together. We were like twin boos. We were like sisters and brothers. In fact, my name is Pamler, Pamler, and his name was Leroy. So from birth, we were destined to be together, Pam and Lur, which made my name. So we were just very close. He was a loving man. He treated me so wonderful. He treated me like a queen. He was my everything. He carried my bags. In fact, we were just in a minister's meeting a few months ago at a conference, and they had him introduce himself. You know what he said, Dr. Rose?
What he said, Pastor?
I'm Mr. Pam Powell.
That's Leroy,
I mean, even though he had way more credentials, he was the captain of the Florida A&M Rattlers football team. He was a Bible scholar, Price Waterhouse accounting scholar, went to Howard University. I mean, known just as much as I was, but he put everything in me. In fact, when I would jump out of the bed in the morning to go brush my teeth, by the time I came back, Mark, he had already made the bed up.
Yes.
If I tried to wash dishes, he would say, baby, I don't want you to mess your nails up.
Oh my God.
But he took care of me. He wanted me to be all right. But the last thing he said to me before he died was, baby, enjoy your life. That's it. I remember that morning when he woke up, Mark, he indicated that he had had a little bit of an indigestion issue and he was a little nauseated. I tried to get him to go to the hospital. But most men don't want to go. So he told me to shut up. He wasn't going to the hospital, and the Alka-Seltzer would do him just fine. So a couple hours later, while he was in the meeting, I had dropped him off. I was on the phone trying to stop someone from committing suicide. But the moment he called, I clicked over for a moment and says, baby, are you okay? He says, I'm fine. He says, what are you doing? I says, I'm trying to help somebody. He says, well, go back and help them. But I want you to know that I'm doing fine and I'm okay. I said, you don't have indigestion? No. You don't have any more nausea? No. He says, now, baby, I love you. Enjoy your life. Wow. Last conversation. And he was gone. And so all I know is he would want me to continue to fulfill purpose. In fact, I'm writing a book. Since 50% of marriages in our country are ending in divorce, and a lot of relationships are messed up from the floor up. God and Leroy told me I gotta write a book about our love story and how for 34 years we acted as if we were still dating.
Wow.
Now,
He still brushed my hair.
wow.
You know what I'm saying?
That
We
is
just had a
amazing.
great time.
I like to say this, I had the pleasure of knowing Pam Powell and her husband, Leroy. They were a beautiful couple.
Yes,
And one of the things I
yes.
actually got a chance to say, which was I'm a very outspoken person, but I'm also very shy. And I was at Dr. Powell's, she was gearing up to run for office.
That's right.
And I was at her meeting, and her husband was there setting up and doing what he would normally do to make sure that Dr. Powell was taken care of. And at the end of the meeting, we got a chance to talk and give some words. And one of the things I actually got a chance to share was about their relationship. I actually said at the meeting, I have always looked up to your relationship because they were a great
Please and
example of a beautiful Black relationship in our community, of a male and female, seeing how beautiful that relationship can be and how positive it was. And then
And he was so humble.
Yes.
Very quiet.
He had a lot of humility. He
Yes,
taught
he was.
me humility.
Yes, he was.
And then we had later on that week, we had an opportunity to go and see a production here in Orlando.
That's right, Tyler Perry.
And we were coordinating things, and we were trying to see how we were going to get there and things like that. And I was blessed and lucky enough to take the last picture of
my husband
and them together. And so I just really appreciate being able to share that time with you and your husband.
And I want to ask this
Yes.
question, Pastor Pam. You said his last word was to you to enjoy your life. Did he ever say that to you before?
He has said that on occasion. If he ever saw me stressed out about something, because I'm an animated person. If I'm upset, I'm going for it. He's cool. He was Mr. Cool. He was cool like the Kool-Aid. But he never wanted me upset. He always wanted me to be happy. He never wanted me to worry about anything. So I guess because he would normally say to me, baby, enjoy your life. Don't worry. But on that particular day, he didn't say don't worry. He says, baby, enjoy your life. Now, I have no idea why he said that because I was going to pick him up from the meeting in about 3 or 4 hours from the time he called. But right before he was supposed to leave the meeting, I got this call from a stranger that told me my husband had fell over in the chair and said, Jesus Christ. I'm glad he testified before he died because all those people in that meeting knew that he loved Jesus Christ. And all I could say was he saw Jesus.
Yes.
And even at his funeral and homegoing, I didn't call it a celebration of life. I call it a celebration of love because he not only loved me, but he loved people.
We do.
And what was so ironic, when I married my husband, or right before we were engaged, my husband had just been called into ministry. And my husband was a player before me.
Oh, Lord.
Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, he had a lot of women. Now, I'm just going to tell y'all
Keep it
that.
real, Pastor
I'm
Pam.
keeping it real. I
Yeah.
keep it 100.
That's
He was
right.
very popular in college. He was very popular around. So he used to say that, he doesn't like to talk about that, but everybody I met, like, you got him? He was the most eligible bachelor. I say, well, he came to Orlando and he met Pam Powell. So when you come to Old Town, you better watch when you come. And he was faithful to me for 34 years. We
Amen.
never had infidelity in our marriage, but I believe a lot of that, and it's going to be in my book that's upcoming, but it's because we dated for 34 plus years. We dated, and every 5 years we would get married again. And why would we get married, Mark? Because he teased me one time after we had got married and said, I didn't say I will. I said I heal. Oh, I say, well, brother, you gonna pay for that because every 5 years you got to buy me a new wedding dress. And in fact, we were supposed to be getting married this month again, and that never came to fruition. But I know that you have to go in life from your pain to your purpose.
Yes. So what is the title of the book?
The title of the book is How to Make a True Love Story that never ends.
Yeah.
In fact, this was going to be our 8th wedding, which would have been new beginnings. But what was ironic, Dr. Rose? Our 7th wedding 5 years ago, we included other couples in it. Little did I know that marked completion. And it showed that we were celebrating the sanctity of marriage. You know, when you're a bride, you just wanted to be all about you. But for some reason, God put in my spirit, get a couple other couples to join you in that wedding. We did that, and I thank God I knew it was completion. Now I know I didn't know it then.
Wow.
But he was a good man. We had issues like everybody else. Don't let anybody tell you that you don't have issues in your marriage. Things are going to happen. You're going to have family member problems. People are going to be jealous of how you look. And a lot of people would say we're a power couple. We never set out to be a power couple. You don't have to do that. It comes naturally. We had what you call, Luther Vandross said, we had love power. Okay? He lifted me up. And there were a lot of ministers that had issues with our unity. Because in most instances, they felt that my personality, in fact, when we first talked about getting married, the counselor minister, who's now deceased, about us getting married, he told my husband, you don't need to marry her because she's a boss. She's a boss. He said she's the kind of woman that's not going to sit down, be quiet, put her hat on and play the piano. Well, I don't play the piano, and I didn't sit down and put my hat on. And he told the minister, he says, I know who I'm marrying.
Come on now.
I know she's a winner. And he said, I picked her because we will win in marriage. So he never let anybody talk about me. He never let anybody put me down. And he lost a lot of opportunities because of me being a strong female, because there are still churches today that don't allow women to minister. But he said, you are my wife. You've been called to preach just like I have, and we're in this thing together. In fact, his favorite word was, if mama's not happy, nobody's happy. So it seems like he just lived for me. And a favorite thing, you know, he played football, so a lot of his guys friends would call him and says, let's go out, Mark. And he would say, no, I'm going to be with my baby. He was always with me. He just wanted to hang with me. And of course, I love hanging with him. And they say, brother, you henpecked. You with that woman all the time. And he said, I don't mind being henpecked when you love the hen that's doing the pecking. That's the kind of love we had. We would never let anyone take us away or talk about each other. We were united together as one. And that's the key to having a great relationship.
Wow, this is so powerful.
Now, Dr. Powell, I know that you have several books that you've written.
Yes.
And we actually have the one of them here, Overcoming Obstacles.
The 7 principles for overcoming obstacles. That's one of my books. And I talk about it. It, in fact, is called the P Factor Principles. And if you go to my website at www.pampowellempowers.com, that's www.pampowellempowers.com, you will find this book. You'll be able to order it online, or you can call our office at 407-376-9655. But what is so important about my new book that I'm writing about our love story is to help save marriages and help with relationships and help people, whether you're male or female, if you're going into a relationship, what you need to know in order to make that a successful relationship. Because I believe when you go through something in life, God gives you a purpose. I'm a breast cancer survivor. So I talk about how I survived that, how I've survived everything. I tell folk I've been broke, busted, and disgusted. I robbed Peter to pay Paul. I've been lied on, cheated on, hated on, but not by this husband. You know what I'm saying? but all I know is I turned it over to Jesus, and Jesus worked it out. Now, you know what happened, Dr. Rose? 2 days before Valentine's Day, your husband's dead. That blew my mind. And the last card he gave me, Mark, he wrote it, and it's in the new book. You all need to get that book. But I just want to read it. He actually wrote it out with his own handwriting. He said, "My dearest darling, your beauty is enchanting. Your smile is alluring. Your lips are inviting. Your kisses are delectable. Your voice is soothing and pleasurable. Your sweetness is my weakness. You are my love, my life, my partner, my wife, my motivation and inspiration, my all in all, my everything. I love you and adore you. I live for you, always and forever, my baby." Wow. My funny Valentine. There you have it in my writing. Kiss, kiss, kiss. Wow. That was the last Valentine's Day card that I had from him that happened to come to me last year. And he died on February the 12th. So I must honor my husband. I must carry the legacy. And I have to, because he was an example of what God commands husbands. Love your wife like Christ loved the church. And of course, women should love their husbands as well. But he gave me that kind of a love, and it was one of a kind. I mean, even at the funeral, the pastor teased and says, "I don't know nobody who could be married to Pam but Leroy." Well, you know, all I can say is it was a one-of-a-kind relationship. I miss him dearly. And those people that are going through grief, you know, I don't know the difference in grief if someone walks away from you and leave you in a marriage. But I do know the grief of a death of my husband. And I do know that there's differences in grief. I've lost my mother. I've lost my brother. I've lost family members. But there is a difference when you lose someone who's been laying by your side for 34 years. Wow. They know you really more than your mom.
They know you inside and out.
They know you inside and out. I mean, I could remember the last couple of weeks before he died. You know, they say people know when they're leaving. He kept holding on to me so tight. He always snuggled with me. He was a snuggler. But for some reason, the last couple of weeks, he was almost about to kick me out the bed. I say, "Baby, hold up.
Hold on.
Get over just a little bit." And so I began to think, wow. And then you know what? When we left Mark that night, we went and got wings, Dr. Rose, from the Tyler Perry event. And it was really ironic. He normally will sit in the car if I order wings. He got out the car that night.
I remember you told me.
And he said, he came in the restaurant. I says, "Are you wanting to go to the men's room?" He says, "No, I just want to look at you."
Wow. Maybe he have a tuition.
Yes.
I just felt it must be maybe, because even the last day when you say to baby, enjoy yourself, maybe you do have a tuition. But you know, the good thing about Pastor Leroy, he's resting.
Right.
He's resting with God. And he's looking down upon you, like he said, baby, enjoy your beautiful self. So, Pastor Powell, what are some of the things that you have coming up?
Well, I actually, I'm back on radio again. You know, a lot of people think that when you go through something, you're supposed to rest and just, you know, go into mourning. But every time I tried to do that, Doc, I would get depressed. I can't do that. Wow. I got to be a P factor. In other words, I had to look for the positive in the situation. And what I found out about my situation is my ministry now got to expand around the globe. In other words, the relationship we had, as well as the principles of the P factor, can apply to anything anyone's going through. I got to take it to the world. And I believe that when we go through something, it says no pain, no gain. In order to be something in life, you got to go through. Have I mourned? You know, a lot of people will look at my clothes or look at how I dress and says, "Oh my God, you don't look sad." Oh yeah. I can tell them I've been sad. I've cried on my pillow at night. You know, I've had to go in the closet and just smell his clothes. You know, when someone leaves you like that, you know, I've smelt his pillow. I sprayed perfume in the house to make believe he's still there. The covering that was on his casket, it sits in my living room so I can look and see that he's there. I've cried at night. I've gone in my closet. I've cried out to God. I've said, "God, you raised Lazarus. Why couldn't you raise my husband?" So people look at me, but I've been going through it. I'm going through right now. But I got a testimony. And the testimony is I'm too legit to quit. And that a setback is a setup for a comeback. Because when God allows us to go through something, we got to come out and give him the glory. So what is the positivity about the situation that's in my book? That God gave me 34 years with a good, faithful, loving husband that kept the home fires burning. And to all you couples out there that think because you get married, you got to act so religious at home and all this, honey, my husband and I had romance. Yes. We had date night. Yes. That's right, every week. Yes. It was nothing wrong with putting on a little Teddy Pendergrass and a little Luther Vandross. It was nothing wrong with dancing with one another and all of that, because we loved our love. We loved our marriage. And I believe that those are the things that held us together. So I got a book signing coming up. Yes, it's going to be on August 24th, which is a Saturday from 11:30 to 1:30 at Chef Eddie's Restaurant downtown near the Amway Center. It's going to be at 595 West Church Street. The first 25 people that purchase copies of my book will get a free buffet lunch on me, the Queen P Factor, all right? In addition to that, I'll be on 1680 WOKB every Sunday now at 4:30. So tune in every Sunday at 4:30. I'll be talking about how to get to the next level. I'll be bringing guests from preachers to teachers to politicians to leaders to people like Dr. Rose Solomon and Mark, just people who are moving and taking, the world by storm. But it's all about hope, and I'm the hope doctor, and I'm going to be injecting a dose of hope. I'm going to be touring all around the country and city and churches, beginning to expand my ministry to go give hope to relationships in this country.
Amen. Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
Love you, baby.
We wrapping it up now with Pastor Pam. We just want to thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
For taking the time. And we just let her talk, y'all. Just to tell about a love story. And I'm going to be one of the first to get in that book.
And I want you to be there.
I will be at the book sign because it's so important for you to tell your love story.
Gotcha.
Because, you and Pastor Lloyd Powell was inseparable. I've known you for many years. I've known you to be a woman of God, a woman to go get it, a woman that traveled the world.
All right.
And so we are happy today to have you and the Keeping It Real, Dr. Solomon. We want you to come back. And when the book come out, to put it out there. And I just want you today just to tell it. And you're right. Pastor Live wants you to enjoy yourself. Yes. You look beautiful as always.
Thank you.
Always dressed from the top to the bottom.
Yep, and I got a clothing line coming out. Y'all stay tuned. Because I believe that we still, as women, can be flamboyant and look good and all that, and we don't have to show everything. Yeah. We got to leave something to the imagination.
I got one more minute.
And that's what my husband loved about me.
How is your daughter doing?
My daughter is doing so wonderful. Beautiful. God stood up in her. And it's like she is taking care of me. It's like little Leroy is there. And my puppy, Royalty. That's my little caregiver, my poodle. But as I tell all my friends, stay positive, passionate, persistent, patient, prayerful, powerful, and you will be prosperous. And I'll see you at the TOP because that's where God wants us to be.
And before we wrap it up, Pastor, could you tell people one more time where they could get you to be a speaker, when your book coming out, and give them a phone number?
Okay, yes. The phone number to my office, and I also do life coaching. I'm a motivational speaker and a preacher, and I've written 3 books. Call me at my office at 407-376-9655. That's 407-376-9655. Or feel free to visit my website at www.PamPowellEmpowers.com.
All right. Well, I very little to say. Such a powerful.
Thank you all.
That's the kind of passion that we need to take in our relationships. Yeah. Not often do you get a chance to spend 34 years with someone and be able to say that it was a good 34 years. That's a blessing in itself. So what I encourage our listeners and our followers and all those people that are watching today, go out and embrace each other. find that passion, find that person that's going to help you, that's going to be with you, and really know that it's all about God's love and keeping God first in your marriage. And you can see the proof from Dr. Powell and her relationship from her husband for 34 years.
An awesome relationship. And it's not because she's sitting here why I'm saying it, because I know this woman of God for a many long time. And one thing that I love about when I see them is nothing changed about Pastor like Paul, the same humble spirit, quiet, always so greet you with such a beautiful word of encouragement. Again, Pastor, we thank you
Love
so
you.
much.
And thank you. She's a phenomenal queen, a phenomenal woman. She's always pushing others up to the top. Y'all give it up for Dr. Rose Solomon. I mean, I'm so proud of you. Love you. Love you.
You are watching Keeping It Real with Dr. Rosemary Solomon. Keep us on your channels and keep us tuning in, and we will see you soon. See ya.
You're out.